I'd like to call to order the regular council meeting of April 8, 2019. Chief O'Connor, would you please call the roll?
Campbell. Hansel Magna.
Here.
Dixon.
Here.
Gibbons. Hannon. Harrison.
Present.
McLean.
Here.
Myrie.
Here.
O'Brien.
We have 5 members present. At this time, could we stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? At this time, I'd like to turn to chair announcements. An executive session of council was conducted on March 23rd, 2019 for personnel interviews. Executive session of council was conducted on March 25th for personnel issues and property acquisition. And tonight, before we came out, April 8th, 2019 for personnel issues and property acquisition. At this time, I would like to turn to the police chief's report and Chief O'Connor.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Council. Hello, everyone. Chief here. I don't have a whole lot, but we did have our Crime Watch meeting earlier this month, and I want to give a special thanks to Attorney Chuck Lopresti, who was our guest speaker, and he did a presentation on use of force and the Castle Doctrine, which could be a very important subject. So he was well attended. We had a spirited discussion, and I thank him for that. Our next Crime Watch meeting will be Monday, May the 6th, 7 p.m. at the Community Center, and Council's own Dr. Campbell will be the guest speaker, and he's going to do his presentation that he has put together on drugs and opioids. Should be very informative, so we hope we get a good turnout and have everyone come and listen to Dr. Campbell. So if you can't make us, though, to the Crime Watch, we are on social media, the Facebook, and you can follow us on there. Any questions?
Any questions?
Chief, I got one question. I saw, I guess it was on social media today, you had posted about recreational burning.
Yes.
Can you just like give a summary of that, because we're coming to that time, and you know, some people can burn some things and some can't.
Yeah, just as why we posted that is over the weekend, we probably got about eight calls into our dispatch, and we had to respond officers for people calling on people having fires. You can have a fire, a legal rec fire, but there are certain conditions. It has to be so many feet away from people's homes. It can't be higher than 3 feet. The base can't be wider than 3 feet. You cannot burn leaves. You cannot burn trash. You cannot burn treated furniture or small children. So mostly what you want to do is burn firewood, either the kind you buy at Giant Eagle or somewhere, or they have it like stacked for you, or from your yard or whatever you collect in the woods. And if you do that, then you're legal. And if you're burning other stuff, though, then you're not legal. So we like to have everybody in harmony out here, so people that do have fire pits are in harmony with those that don't. So we would like everybody's cooperation on that. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you very much, Chief. Okay, at this time, can we turn to the mayor's report and Mayor Allen?
Thank you, Mr. President. When I got here today, I had quite a few things on my agenda, but it's becoming shorter and shorter. So the first thing I want to do is I want to bring up 3 young ladies from the high school: Michaela Lee, Amber Simone, and Julia Cisaldi. Cosaldi? Okay, then we must have spelled it wrong, but if you can come up. Okay, these three young ladies, with their guidance teacher, Emily Smoller, finished second statewide in the public relations plan at the DECA annual conference. What I like to do is, it was in the paper, but I would like one spokesperson to tell us exactly what you did and how you achieved that award.
So what we did is our teacher, Mrs. Smoller, came to us and she asked if we would want to work with the recreation department. They do a lot for our community, and there's hundreds of programs they put out, but a lot of people just don't have this information and they just don't know about it. So we started to create posts for them and meet with them for their Facebook page. And eventually we'd like to have more social media, but we also did some things with our school. We started, we made videos for our school news, and we put stuff into the almanac, and we also added a recreation department segment in the school e-newsletter that goes out.
We also created a survey that we sent out to everyone in Bethel Park, just to ask them like what they're interested in seeing in our community.
Well, it sounds like you obviously put a lot of work into it, so it had to take some time to do it. The Recreation Department certainly thanks you. What I have is a certificate, and I'll read the one, and if we spelled anyone's name wrong, we could reissue that. This is a certificate of recognition. This one's to Julia for your second place award in the 2019 DECA Annual State Career Development Conference. It's awarded the 8th day of April 2019, and it has my signature on it. So Julia, there's yours. Amber, you can check the spelling. Oh, I just pronounced it wrong. And Michaela.
Thank you.
Okay, so thank you very much. It's nice to see you. With everything that goes on in this world, it's nice to see three young ladies step forward and really make a difference. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, the second thing I wanted to bring up again is our annual spring cleanup. That'll be April 27th. It's open to individuals or groups. And if you have a group that would like to participate, you can call Janet, 412-831-6800, extension 211. Also, our Easter egg hunt extravaganza is actually this Sunday, April 15th at 12:30 at the Schoolhouse Arts Building. Tickets can be purchased at the community center. I hope there's tickets left.
There's a few.
Okay, all right. I should have checked before I said you can purchase them. Okay, one thing I wanted to bring up, we're going to have a Public Works open house. It's in May. It's May 19th from 1 to 4 at the Public Works facility. But the reason I wanted to bring it up tonight was that we sent, or Public Works sent out blank pictures of plows to all elementary schools, grades 1 through 4. And what they need to do is design and color the plow, and the winners will be announced on May 19th. And then whoever has the winning plows, that will be painted on that plow for the winter months. So hopefully the winter will have sunshine on it, and we'll see what happens. Lastly, we have our paint-a-pole. I mentioned it last month. We're in the process of changing all the street signs to a new letter form. Some people have the orange poles that are by now, they're rusted and so on. We're in the process of painting them black, but we also need volunteers to help with that. So if there's any Cub Scout troops, Boy Scout, Girl Scout, church organizations, you can call Janet at the same number, 412-831-6800, extension 211. And the librarian's not here tonight, but this is National Library Week, April 7th to the 13th, and I have a proclamation which I will award to them tomorrow. And finally, and I will send a message out probably tomorrow on this, but starting tomorrow, you can buy an extra garbage can. While the supplies last, call 412-831-6800, extension 130, and they will take credit cards or check. They will not accept cash, so you can come to the municipal building if you like. Public Works will, once we get the money for that can, Public Works will deliver the can, hopefully within a week. And then we're also going to have a little change on our leaf pickup, and I'll announce that tomorrow also. But the people have been asking for the garbage cans. We will have those available starting tomorrow for purchase. And that's all I have.
Mayor, the people that called in, I know the troop I'm associated with called in and said that they would be available to paint the pole.
Okay.
They just, and I don't know whether they've heard from us or not, but they just wait and ultimately somebody will call them and tell them that.
Absolutely. We'll give them an area.
Okay.
And, so obviously the more groups we have, the less polls each group has to do. And depending on if they need supervision, which they obviously do, we have volunteers, including myself, that'll go around with them to paint poles for a couple hours.
Okay. Thank you very
Okay.
much.
Any other questions?
Just to follow up on the garbage cans, all three sizes are going to be $55 each. So it's one price no matter what size you get. And like the mayor said, you can call in starting tomorrow and they will be delivered within a week to your home. And then we will also have them on May 19th for people that want to come to the Public Works open house and touch a truck. They'll be able to purchase them at that time too. We usually don't take comments as, we'll talk after? Okay.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Okay, at this time, I would like to turn to the approval of the minutes, and Mr. McLean.
First item is the regular council meeting of March 11, 2019. I move that we approve the regular council meeting minutes of March 11th, 2019.
Second.
There's a motion, a second, that we approve the regular council meeting minutes of March 11, 2019. Any discussion of this item? Chief O'Connor, would you please call the roll?
Campbell. Consul Magno.
Yes.
Dixon.
Yes.
Gibbons. Hannon. Harrison.
Yes.
McLean.
Yes.
Myrie.
Yes.
O'Brien.
Motion passes 5-0. At this time, I'd like to approve the minutes for the public hearing of May 25th, 2019.
I move that we approve the public hearing minutes of March 25th, 2019.
Second.
There's a motion, a second, that we approve the public hearing minutes of March 25th, 2019. Any discussion of this item? Chief O'Connor, would you please call the roll?
Campbell. Consul Magno.
Yes.
Dixon.
Yes.
Gibbons. Hannon. Harrison.
Yes.
McLean.
Yes.
Myrie.
Yes.
O'Brien.
Motion passes 5-0. Mr. McLean.
Next item is special meeting of March 25th, 2019, abatement of nuisance, 2619 Broad Street. I move that we approve the special meeting minutes of March 25th, 2019.
Second.
There's a motion, a second, that we approve the special meeting minutes of March 25th, 2019. Any discussion of this item? Chief O'Connor, would you please call the roll?
Campbell. Consul Magno.
Yes.
Dixon.
Yes.
Gibbons. Hannon. Harrison.
Yes.
McLean.
Yes.
Myrie.
Yes.
O'Brien.
Motion passes 5-0. Mr. McLean.
That's all under the approval of minutes. Next item is bills and payrolls. I move that we approve the bills and payrolls for the municipality per bill list number 040819 in the amount of $2,367,022.43.
Second.
There's a motion, a second, that we approve the bills and payrolls for the municipality per bill list number 040819 in the amount of $2,367,022.43. Any discussion of this item? Chief O'Connor, would you please call the roll?
Campbell. Consul Magno.
Yes.
Dixon.
Yes.
Gibbons. Hannon. Harrison.
Yes.
Mickling.
Yes.
Maury.
Yes.
O'Brien.
Motion passes 5-0. At this time, I would like to turn to the resident comment section for non-agenda items. We have 2 people signed up to speak. Who would like to go first? Okay.
Rich Baller, 1119 Logan Road. Here about the flooding again. Haven't heard any new information about anything going on. I did want to ask about the chief. Is he going to be involved as the borough manager, or are you waiting to replace the position?
The chief is the acting manager we're hoping to replace. We've had some interviews, and if we may be announcing it at our May meeting. He's the
Okay.
interim manager, correct.
Okay. Anything new with the plans, long-term plans for any of the flooding? Any ideas?
We've approved, or we're working on some projects that we've been working on for the last few months. We're hoping to get funding.
Yeah, because we are at that rainy time, and I'm sure this is going to come up a lot over the next 2 months. So, since Mark's not here, I really don't have anything else.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you. Pat Gordon? How you doing? If you just state your name and address for the record, please.
Okay. Pat Gordon, 5410 California Avenue, Bethel Park, PA. I'm here about the flooding also. And as Jim knows, and maybe a couple other you fellas know, that I've been in my house 50 years, and I have been flooded out so many times I've lost count. And this last flood was absolutely destroyed my basement totally. I have no basement no more. I have a storage room now, but no basement. I also have the problem of iron water, mine water coming in now. It's staining the walls, the floors, and it runs out onto the street through the sump pump, which the sump pump was put in because of that, and it runs it out and puts it on the street. Now it's staining the front of my house. And if anybody wants to go ride by and see it, you'll see what I'm talking about. These friends, they're all flooded victims here that I brought in with me today. So and then you put a manhole in my driveway and expect me to take this big long pipe and run it down here, which weighs about 30 pounds. I'm 82 years old. I can't do that. And the flooding has got, it's got unbearable. I've lost furnaces, water heaters, washer and dryers. Now all my walls are down in the basement. And the man told me, Pat, when you get down to wash clothes, I recommend you put a mask on. And I can't do that no more. So I just wish that somebody would, here on council, would try to come around and look at what's happening to us on California Avenue. And I'm sure you guys got problems otherwhere too, but this has got, the mine water scary. My husband died of cancer. Do I say, well, was this part of it? I don't know. I just don't know. But I just know it can't be healthy. And when it rains, you just come by my house. You'll see what I'm talking about. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other residents who would like to speak? If you could come up and state your name and address for the record, please.
My name's Maria Vadis, and I own the property at 5414 California. I'm next door to Pat. I live in the lowest part of California, across from former Councilman Pape. And I've owned my home almost 7 years, and I've been flooded twice. The home was sold to me on false pretenses, and just stating it to make you aware of that. Nothing was disclosed on the forms that there was ever any water issues. So the problems that I'm having, in addition to flooding, the sewers back up the water comes in the window wells of the basement like Niagara Falls when we have floods. After this last flood, anytime there is moderate rain, I'm getting a flow of water in my basement coming from the corner that I've had to build sand ramps to my drain because the water just comes in constantly. So it's not even, it used to be that it was just like a really super hard rain when we would get like 5 inches or something like that. Now it's with a moderate rain, and you'll see, and the water will just about take half of the basement. If you let it run, it would, and then it has to be cleaned up with a shop vac and all that kind of stuff. So that is continual. I've had mold remediation done twice, and I don't expect, considering the current climate conditions that we have going on, I don't see this, I see this as being a long-term weather cycle. So I don't see what happened in these last 7 years as freak instances. I see them as probably a pattern that's going to be here for a while. So let me go to my next point of my property. When you guys were doing relining of pipes, sewer pipes, there was some work that was going on around the borough. One of the projects that took place about a year ago was on top of where California is. That's back in, is it Cloverdale back there? There was work going on there through the summer. After that, I noticed that the water was pooling in the backyard. When I bought the home, there was a little marshy area, not a problem. And it was probably, no larger than just a circle right here. Now, since that 1 year from the water flow, I've had a wall collapse, an 8-foot retaining wall in my driveway collapse because of water pushing it down. And I've had to pay thousands of dollars to have it rebuilt. Then the other issue is the water that runs into my yard now has gone all the way across the yard, and even it's so marshy that you can't really step in it. It's kind of like liquid mud, and that's where my shed sits. So it's gotten to where I don't know what to do. It's seeping through. There's a wall where the pool is. We have an in-ground pool. There's a wall all along the pool area, and with Keystone block. And now you can see that there's mold building and water coming through that wall, which never was before. It's pooling there. Now, I called the borough, asked them to check this out. I said, I think it's coming from whatever work was done up there. It's all now coming to my yard and her yard and maybe Pat's yard as well. And I said, in the past, the property has a history of having sewage water. The yard was previously, years ago, dug up, and they found there was a break in a line or something. We see a lot of strange, shiny material in this water. My grass has stopped growing. A different grass is growing now. It can't really be mowed very well. I have to use a weed whacker in the parts that I can step in. So there is something that needs to be done with the way the water is moving. So I really felt that it was important to bring that to your attention. And when I talked to the borough, I asked them, is there a way to get this water tested? Because I don't know that it's not sewer water that's dripping in there. And the guys came back and they're like, oh yeah, we tested it. Yeah, there's nothing in it. Okay, I didn't see the results. I didn't get any paperwork back. Nothing was done. So I'd like to get your feedback and see what is it that as homeowners we're to be, what is your responsibility and what is our responsibility as homeowners? Because I see this, it's going to be a continual expense of What can we do to prevent further flooding, to make any kind of, so I'm going to be spending money to see what I can do to stop water from coming in my house. But when I get to that point, that if the water's still coming in, then it's going to have to come to you. Or maybe it needs to come to you. We both need to do it together. But it's a really untenable situation. So if you have any feedback on that, I'd appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Are there any other residents who would like to speak? Hearing none, can we turn to the agenda? Can we start with General Policy and Finance and Mr. McLean?
Yes, and the one item that was on the agenda has been removed, so we have no agenda items under General Policy and Finance.
Thank you, Mr. McLean. Are there any additional items? Hearing none, can we turn to Planning and Zoning and Mr. Dixon?
Mr. President, we have one item under Planning and Zoning this evening, Resolution Number R4-8-19A, Greenways, Trails, and Recreation Program. I move that we adopt Resolution Number R4-8-19A, authorizing the manager of the municipality of Bethel Park to file a grant application through the Department of Community and Economic Development's Greenways, Trails, and Recreation Program to fund improvements to Miners Memorial Park.
Second?
There's a motion and a second. We adopt resolution number R4-8-19A, authorizing the manager of the municipality of Bethel Park to file grant application through the Department of Community and Economic Development Greenways, Trails, and Recreation Program to fund improvements to Miners Memorial Park. Any discussion of this item? Chief O'Connor, would you please call the roll?
Campbell. Consul Magno.
Yes.
Dixon.
Yes.
Gibbons. Hannon. Harrison.
Yes.
McLean.
Yes.
Myrie.
Yes.
O'Brien.
Motion passes 5-0. Mr. Dixon.
Mr. President, that's all we have.
Thank you very much, Mr. Dixon. Are there any other items? Hearing none, we turn to Health, Safety, and Welfare, and Mr. Consul Magno.
Mr. Myrie, we have one item under Health, Safety, and Welfare. Resolution number R4-8-19B, deposition of records. I move that we adopt Resolution R4-8-19B for the deposition of public safety records in accordance with the Pennsylvania Historical and Museum Society regulations.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. We adopt resolution R4-8-19B for the disposition of public safety records in accordance with the Pennsylvania Historical and Museum Society regulations. Any discussion of this item? Mr. O'Connor, would you please call the roll?
Campbell. Consul Magno.
Yes.
Dixon.
Yes.
Gibbons. Hannon. Harrison.
Yes.
McLean.
Yes.
Myrie.
Yes.
O'Brien.
Motion passes 5-0. Mr. Consul Magno.
No other items under Health, Safety, and Welfare.
Thank you, Mr. Consul Magno. Are there any additional items? Hearing none, can we turn to Public Works and Maintenance and Mr. McLean?
We have one item under, two items rather, under Public Works and Maintenance. First is Bethel Park Senior Residential Housing Security Reduction. I move that we approve the security reduction request in the amount of $646,106.50 for the Bethel Park Senior Residential Housing Facility per the memorandum from the engineer dated April 4, 2019, and contingent on approval of the municipal manager.
Second.
There's a motion and a second that we approve the security reduction request in the amount of $646,106.50 for the Bethel Park Senior Residential Housing Facility per the memorandum from the engineer dated April 4th, 2019, and contingent upon approval of the municipal manager. Any discussion of this item? Chief O'Connor, would you please call the roll?
Campbell. Consul Magno.
Yes.
Dixon.
Yes.
Gibbons. Hannon. Harrison.
Yes.
McLean.
Yes.
Myrie.
Yes.
O'Brien.
Motion passes 5-0. Mr. McLean.
Next item is the 2019 Stormwater BMP project. I move that we award the 2019 Stormwater BMP project to A. Foligno Construction for for the low base bid amount of $67,177.50 in accordance with the Director of Engineering's correspondence dated April 4, 2019.
Second.
There's a motion and a second that we award the 2019 Stormwater BMP project to A. Felino Construction for a low base bid amount of $67,177.50 in accordance with the Director of Engineering's correspondence dated April 4th, 2019. Any discussion of this item? Chief O'Connor, would you please call the roll?
Campbell. Consolmagno.
Yes.
Dixon.
Yes.
Gibbons. Hannon. Harrison.
Yes.
McLean.
Yes.
Maury.
Yes.
O'Brien.
Motion passes 5-0. Mr. McLean,
There are no other items under Public Works.
are there any additional items?
Mr. Murray?
Mr. Consolmagno.
Excuse me, I'd just like to, first of all, thank our residents for the acceptance of these trash cans. Public Works, through Susan Dolinar, distributed close to 12,000 cans, and, the few comments that we've gotten, I think we've handled in a professional manner. So I just want to thank the residents and also the Public Works for doing an outstanding job in rolling out this program. It's not easy, but I think they did a great job. Thank you.
I also have just one announcement. On Saturday, May 4th, we're going to have a dedication ceremony starting at 11 a.m. for the new playground and equipment and renovations at Simmons Park. We're also going to have some announcement about the Live Well Allegheny program and a few other announcements tied in with that whole entire program. So once again, there'll be more details to follow, but May 4th, 11 a.m. at Simmons Park. Any other discussion? Hearing none, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second, all in favor? Aye. Meeting adjourned, and good night, everyone.